So good afternoon to everybody, to all of you here in presence and online. I'm very happy to welcome you to this event on the African Union, European Union Research and Innovation Agenda. I am Cristina Russo. I am the Director for International Cooperation in DG Research and Innovation. And I have the great pleasure to have here with me Commissioner Bellocine. Thanks for being here, Commissioner. Commissioner Bellocine is the African Union Commissioner for Education, Science, Technology and Innovation, who made all the way from Addis in order to be here with us. So thank you very much for being here. We also have other two distinguished guests. We have Mrs. Chamdumba from the African Union Development Agency, who also traveled from abroad to be here. And last but not least, I have my dear colleague and friend, Mr. Hans Stausboll, who is the Director for the Africa Directorate in DG IMPA, close partner to DG Research for the development and implementation of this African Union, European Union Innovation Agenda. We don't have a lot of time, so I will not be very long, but just I would like to say that the African Union, European Union Innovation Agenda represents the current mainstay of research and innovation cooperation between the African Union, Africa, Europe, the European Union, and the member states. And it was adopted jointly by the African Union and the European Union in July 2023. The agenda was developed based on a very wide stakeholder consultation, and which involved our citizens from two continents, and of course, after discussion with our colleagues in other departments and our respective member states. I would just like to add that there are four priorities that we tackle in this agenda, with some concrete short-term, medium-term and longer-term actions. And those priorities relate to public health, green transition, innovation and technologies, and capacity for sciences. Of course, this agenda is to be seen together with the other actions that we are undertaking in the European Commission, with member states, with the African Union, with other African countries in the field of research and innovation. And I'm very happy today to present the dashboard of initiatives which relate to the African Union, European Union Innovation Agenda, which we are launching today during this session, and we're doing that with a short video. So without further ado, I will ask my colleagues to put the video on so that you can have the chance to be the first to look at the new dashboard. That was short and sharp, and after this session, I would really like to invite you to deep dive into this dashboard, where you can find this in the Air Access platform, which is related to the African Union, European Union agenda, innovation agenda. But now I said that we have the honor to have here with us Commissioner Bellocine, and Commissioner Bellocine has been really a leader for us in the development of this innovation agenda. And what I wanted to ask you is how has the European Union, African Union innovation agenda how has it been developed as a unique tool for our cooperation, which really was based on common ownership? And how do you see this innovation agenda also as a tool to enhance in a more general way the strategic partnership between the European Union and Africa and the African Union? Commissioner Bellocine, please, the floor is yours.
Thank you. Do you hear me?
Ik krijg hem niet binnen.
Okay, good. Thank you.
Je moet hem een handout geven, want ik krijg hem niet binnen.
Share with you some ideas on.
Yeah, the one that's already there.
It's not working. Okay.
Can you? I think it's working.
Okay. Thank you. I would like to share with you in a very short statement our ideas about the EU research and innovation agenda. This is the result of the high-level policy dialogue, and when I took office in the African Union as a commissioner, the dialogue had already started, so it has been a long process actually, and I will give some comments on that. And as we have seen in this introductory video, it outlines 4 areas of focus, which is public health, green transition, innovation and technology, and capacities for science. And it revolves around 5 main subjects, which is innovation system, innovation ecosystem, innovation management, knowledge exchange, access to finance, and human capacity development. So there are these cross-cutting issues. It's worth noting that this is a project which has both bilateral projects and multilateral projects that will be funded under this EU agenda. There are 2 unique things, I believe, related to this agenda. First, as you said, is the participatory and iterative process that led to the finalization of the agenda, bringing really experts, academicians, researchers, and other stakeholders, both from Africa and the European regions together. And I think that it's a guarantee for a good ownership of the agenda, and that people are more knowledgeable about what it contains and how it works. And of course, when we see this dashboard, is also another tool that will increase the ownership and the knowledge about the agenda. And also the second point that I wanted to highlight is that this agenda places innovation and research in really at the center of the thematic of development in those 4 main priority areas that we mentioned. This is perfectly aligned with the aspirations of the Agenda 2063, which is, for those who don't know what is Agenda 2063, it is the blueprint of the economic development, social and economic development of Africa from 2013 to 2063. It's a 50 years prospective view of what should Africa do for its development. So we're not only doing science and innovation for the sake of it, but we are really channeling the benefits and utilities of it to key areas like we saw health or green transition or the other areas. Specifically, it is also aligned with several policies and strategies of the EU, such as the Science, Technology, Innovation Strategy for Africa 2024, which we are renewing for the next 10 years, with the strategy on blue economy, on environment, on climate change, and on space policy and strategy. Therefore, there are several African Union Commission flagship programs which are aligned or are within the 4 priority areas that were just mentioned in this EU innovation agenda. I can give some examples. For instance, the African single electric market, which is to be one of the world's largest electricity markets by 2040, is aligned with the elements of this agenda. The Continental Power System Master Plan, also, which provides the necessary infrastructure to link all national and regional power pools, transmission networks, is also aligned, and there could be links there. And also one of the other flagship programs that we have together, which is the GMES and Africa program, the Global Monitoring and Environment and Security and Africa, which is a program of Earth observation provided through the images coming from the Copernicus, the European Copernicus system, and African countries are using it for very, very different and very important benefits at country level. In a nutshell, I would say that this EU innovation and research agenda is really a catalyst that will strengthen innovation as a key pillar in the implementation of the Agenda 2063. And I think we already have some good success stories, particularly when I think of the GMS and Africa, that we can build on to make sure that the EU cooperation goes down to the societies, goes down to the academic institutions, goes down to the benefit of people, because we are trying always to be here for the benefit of our populations. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Commissioner. Again, thanks for your engagement, your passion to develop the agenda and to make it happen. I think that now we can, a moment, focus on the implementation of the agenda. And I would like to ask my dear colleague Hans, what do you think we should do in order to ensure the long-term success of the implementation of the agenda, and in order to mobilize all the instruments and work together for that? And then, Chim, I will ask you also to come in on that issue of implementation. Hans, the floor is yours.
No, thanks a lot, and thanks a lot for inviting us to this important workshop. And I do indeed think, as the Commissioner has already outlined, in order for us to be successful in this area, we do need to put innovation and research at the center of everything we are doing. There are a number of requirements for us to be successful. The first of all is the political commitment. We firmly believe we have the political commitment on the side of the African Union Commission and the leadership of the Commissioner. But also on our side, research innovation was a key component of the EU-AU summit, where heads of state back in February 2022 agreed on a very ambitious program, or African investment plan, as we call it, with research and innovation as the center of that. So we do have the commitment, but we also need the accountability. We need instruments to monitor we are actually delivering. I think, Christina, the dashboard will be an important tool to ensure that we are all delivering, live up to our commitment. But we are also working with the African Union Commission and the AU member states on the first meeting of the Ministerial Monitoring Committee that was created when we had the summit. There we will present a very elaborate report that describes everything we have been doing. The Commissioner already mentioned the need for having an integrated approach. I think the fact that the African Union have turned 2024 into the year of education, mainly thanks to you, I understand, gives us a possibility to develop initiatives in the area of higher education, skill development, capacities, etc. So political commitment, accountability is essential. Then obviously we need concrete projects, otherwise there's nothing to put in your dashboard, and we are indeed trying to deliver on that together with the African Union, together with our NEPAD, and together with other partners. We have a number of specific programs and projects in the area of research innovation. We have the ARISE pilot project, which I think has turned into a very successful exchange between Europe, African research institutions. A number of researchers are already working on the basis of this program, linking up African and European research institutions. We are prepared to continue that, scale up that program. But we also have a number of other programs in the area of research, agricultural research, manufacturing of vaccines, etc. So again, a very comprehensive package. The last precondition is to develop the capacity, to really benefit and ensure that the resource base, that the young resource base in Africa can really benefit and participate. And for that, we have also developed a number of concrete programs. We have the Centers of Excellency that we are rolling out. And we would indeed promote, we have Erasmus Plus, exchange higher universities, inter-African mobility schemes, etc. So we have a number of programs. I stop there. Christina.
Thank you very much, Hans. And I would like to ask Chim from the NEPAD side, what do you think we should do to implement together this important EU-African Union Innovation Agenda?
Thank you. Thank you very much. And thank you for inviting the AU Development Agency the AUDA-NEPA to be part of this dialogue. And I think I would like to tackle this question from the point of view of saying that I think successful implementation in the medium term, in the long term, as well as in the short term, depends on 3 stages. The first stage is the stage of preparation of any document, of any agenda, of any definition of priorities. And I think Commissioner tackled that stage very well when he said that the process was very participatory and ownership, because ownership and participatory process from both sides already determines how both sides on the agenda and how they're willing to move with the agenda forward, because we believe it responds to the needs that we have as both continents. Secondly, the issue of participation of different stakeholders, and we are glad that the Commission invited us to be part of this process of developing this agenda as the development agency of the continent. The fact that we really tried as much as possible to make the innovation agenda relevant by tackling the key issues that the continent is dealing with in the Agenda 2063, as Commissioner said, that in that way already we are designing content in the agenda that is relevant and will ensure that it is successful. I think the other thing that I also wanted to mention is with regards to ensuring that the agenda that we have set, and now that we want to get into implementation and we are looking at it really being successful, the fact that the tenets that have been built in the agenda itself, the building around capacity building, capacity strengthening means a lot, because we cannot talk about success unless we have the capacities that we need to ensure that there's successful implementation of the agenda that we have set for ourselves as the AU and the EU in collaboration. And when we are talking about capacity building, I'm just coming from a health meeting, EU-AU, also agenda on health that we were discussing. And one of the things that we're dealing with, the issue of vaccine manufacturing, but we are looking broadly now at local manufacturing of all health products. I mean, that really shows that we are looking at relevant issues. And at the center of it, we cannot talk about some of these things without looking at research and innovation. So research and innovation, as long as we continue putting it at the center of our priorities, most definitely we are looking at success. The second part, apart from the preparation and how we put it together, is with regards to the actual implementation itself, the actual management of the partnership that we have between both sides, ensuring that as much as it is responsive to our needs, it is also mutually beneficial on both sides. And we all see it as relevant and benefiting our needs. It really will speak to the success of the implementation of the agenda. Of course, I will not talk about the issues that he talked about, political commitment in the implementation, and ensuring that we sustain the political commitment in the implementation. Improving systems. I think, yes, as much as we are talking about capacity, I think for it to be more long-term and sustainable, we need to focus on strengthening the innovation systems that we need to sustain the agenda and to ensure that the success that we achieve now is more focused on the long term. And lastly, the issue that Commissioner also emphasized, and also my colleague here emphasized on monitoring, tracking, understanding how we're doing, learning, integrating the lessons into designing of the programs that are going to feed into the implementation of the agenda. Thank you very much. Let me stop there, and I look forward to the conversation.
Thank you very much, Chim. I think that you said that you just come from a meeting on health, which also gives me the occasion to say that on health, this is a sector in which we have really a long-standing partnership between the European Union and the African countries, because already in 2003 we have launched the European and developing countries clinical trials partnership. I have some colleagues here that know very well what we have done at that time. And I would like to show you a video that we have from Dr. Michael Makanga, who is the executive director of the EDTCP, as we call it, that really it's a good input to this discussion as a success story of our cooperation in the field of health. If we can show the video, please.
Good day. I'm Michael Makanga, the Executive Director of the Global Health EDCTP3 Joint Undertaking. I'm delighted to talk to you about a unique Europe-Africa partnership for global health, and I'll highlight two of its recent achievements with broader impact. First, a few words about EDCTP. We were established more than 20 years ago in 2003. We're a partnership between European Union and a growing number of countries, currently 15 European and 28 African countries. We work together to deliver new solutions to reduce the burden of infectious diseases in sub-Saharan Africa. We also support capacity building activities. More than 2,000 African researchers have benefited from the program. Half of our 1.6 billion euros funding comes from the European Commission, and the other half comes from the European and African states, as well as global public and private like-minded funders. Allow me to highlight two tangible success stories of the partnership, which resulted in two new medicines addressing WHO critical research and policy gaps. In 2022, a new simpler and safer treatment for cryptococcal meningitis, a fungal infection of the tissues covering the brain and the spinal cord, was approved. This project supported the largest clinical trial ever for cryptococcal meningitis associated with HIV and was conducted in 5 African countries. The results, showing a safer and more convenient treatment option, were published in the New England Journal of Medicine. Today, the new WHO guidelines strongly recommend this medicine as the first treatment for cryptococcal meningitis in people living with HIV. The second success story is a new malaria vaccine for children. In October 2023, WHO recommended a second malaria vaccine, ARA21 Matrix M, for the prevention of malaria in children. We funded a critical phase 2 clinical trial, which showed that the vaccine had 77% efficacy in children aged 5 to 17 months with no significant safety issues. These results were later replicated in a larger multi-center phase 3 study with support from the Serum Institute India and the European Investment Bank. To date, the ARA21 Matrix M malaria vaccine has received provisional approval for use in Burkina Faso, Ghana, and Nigeria. It will save and improve the lives of millions of children and their families. Other medical interventions are currently being developed by the Global Health EDCTP3, and I trust they'll bring new health solutions to individuals and patients in Africa and globally. If you're a researcher, policymaker, or like-minded organization, I invite you to engage with us to continue to build a strong Europe-Africa dialogue and global partnership.
We will certainly do. So I think we are running a bit out of time, but we are connected with the audience, and I would like to ask the colleagues, the participants connected online, if they can use the Slido in order to provide a keyword of what you would judge as a measure to make the African Union, European Union Innovation Agenda a success. Let's see what the audience says. For the moment, the audience is silent. So maybe it's already a success. We should take it from there. We have one participant typing. Let's hope it's a good, it's what we want to hear. Okay, while we wait for these Slido replies, I think that we can already try to make some conclusive remarks of this event. And Commissioner Belosine, I would like to pass you back the floor to say what you wish that you would take it from there and do in the future in order to continue to make this work a success. You have 3 minutes for that.
Yeah, thank you. I think we have heard a lot of ideas. Of course, as I used to say, the African Union, as the European Union, don't have a territory. So we work with countries and it is upon the countries and the institutions in the countries to take up the challenges of implementing really in the field. We are giving the tools, we have put in place the framework, but we cannot do all the things alone. We cannot do it. We are not implementers. So it will be upon to the teams in the field, the researchers, the academies, the institutions, public, private, etc., to be following up on these issues. And I welcome the dashboard, which is a very, very important tool which makes the project known to everybody and opens the possibility of participation to any team or any researcher that is interested in this agenda. Obviously, the success will be also depending on our willingness to continue this horizontal collaboration, cooperation, and exchange of information. And I hope that with that, I think we will be successful. Of course, there will be hurdles here and there, but we are here to treat them on time and to make sure that what we are investing together will bear results for the benefit again to the populations of both continents. Thank you.
Thank you so much, and we count on you for that. I see that the audience is replying. I saw that the word impact was very big. Now we have equitable partnership, which is something very important. And I think we can really take as the key elements of the agenda, this equitable partnership and the impact that we want to have. But before concluding, I would like also to ask both Hans and Jim to say what you think we should bring back home in a word from this discussion and related to the African Union, European Union Innovation Agenda. Hans, I see that you're eager to come in, please, with one word, 2 words.
No, I think we need patience and continued commitment. I think this is the essential. We are very good on our side to get ideas, announce initiatives, talk about big amounts of money, and then when it actually comes to delivery, we are relatively slow. We are very bureaucratic. I think the link with private sector is something where we need to improve because our instruments today are not very suitable. So that is a reality. But apart from that, I think the commitment we have talked about, it's there. We just have to implement now.
Thank you. Private sector indeed very important. Jim, the last word for you.
Yes, no, I was looking actually for the word tangible on the dashboard. As much as we're looking at impact, but I think how tangible our interventions will be will determine where we go from here. As he said, there are things that can be on paper, but we don't want to remain on paper. We want to move from paper, from agendas to tangibility and things that we can be able to point and say we have implemented and we have made a difference in a particular area. Secondly, I think also, yes, we know our Department of Education, Science and Technology is leading and is providing the leadership. And also within our AUD and EPAD, we have Office of Science and Technology that is leading the agenda. However, I think each and every sector and sectoral department have to integrate research and innovation because we cannot talk about development, sustainable development, job creation, health, human capital without putting at the center of it research and innovation. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Jim. And I would like to end this wonderful session with one key phrase, which is make it happen. Let's work together to make it happen. Let's continue to join forces between the European Union, the African Union, all together, the public, the government, the private sector, to make it happen with this EU-African Union Innovation Agenda for tangible impacts done in a way which is commonly owned. With that, I would like to thank the distinguished speakers, of course, Commissioner Bellosin for being here, the other 2 dear and distinguished speakers, and all the audience, both the audience here in this room and the audience online, and stay tuned on the African Union, European Union Innovation Agenda. Thank you very much.